Welcome everyone, welcome to Baphomet Bible, episode number 110. If salt has lost its saltiness, wherewith shall it be salted? It's henceforth no good to be trampled underfoot. What up, Triple Fourth? So when salt loses its saltiness, how does that happen? Well, you can't really take salt and it's not going to lose its saltiness, but you can add too much. Too much salt. I don't want to eat it. I'm eating this stuff and it tastes like salt. And when Lot was leaving, his wife turned around and she was turned into a pillar of salt. So here's what happens with the food. It's strategic. The whole point is to make you sick. And I was realizing, why is my heart beating so hard after I eat a vegan meal? I go to this Arab restaurant, it's called Semsem, and I get the falafel, the rice, some Jerusalem salad up in there, and there's no meat. It's a vegan dish, but there's a lot of salt in it. And after I'm done eating it, my heart is throbbing. I'm like, what is going on? So by trial and error, I realized that it's the salt. The salt is what's messing up my heart. How was your day? Took my mom out the Cheesecake Factory. We got like a chicken dish. It was really good. She was happy. I had a pretty good day. No arguments. My dad's going fishing tomorrow. He asked me if I wanted to go fishing. Absolutely not. It's like, dude, I told you, I'm not going anywhere. Start talking to me on a human level and actually be interested in what I say, because then you'll truly be my mother, my sister, my brethren. Who is my mother? So you point... I point at the biker, the big biker with the huge beard, and I say, that's my mother. The guy that actually hangs around and listens to what I have to say. So, Dad, if you actually listen to me and have some concern about truth and knowledge, well, then we can make this thing happen. And then I'll go with you, and there'll be actually something to talk with. We won't just be sitting in a car on a completely different frequency, and I won't be able to talk with you because all you care about is money and what Donald Trump is doing. But I'm on a completely different level. I want to raise my consciousness and then get my 8 hours a day back. So I'm not giving it to the bank and being enslaved and controlled and harnessed like a Duracell battery. So I got a goal in order to free myself and to enter into paradise. And if people are not on the same level as me, why would I want to be in your presence? Especially when you sit on my shoulder like the devil and then you talk evil things onto me, telling me what I can't do. So when you add too much salt to the food, it's been messing up my heart. And see, with the heart issues, I know exactly what's good for my body and what's not. And if I wasn't having this issue, I would know better. But because it's magnified, and I know it's like, hey, I just ate a vegan meal, and I feel like I'm gonna die. I'm in a cave, and my ears are going ching 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 ching, and my head is throbbing. I have a headache, and all I did was eat some falafel. But I guarantee you, it has tons of salt in it. All the fast food restaurants, all the ready-made food is going to load the salt in the food because it's taking advantage of you. You don't want to cook it for yourself, so let's just load the salt. Let's make the salt lose its saltiness and henceforth be trampled onto man. Do you believe in past lives? And about the salt thing, if you think about it, mostly every fast food or store food, at least some sort of salt mineral in it. There's too much salt. I believe it's strategic You load down the salt, so even if I get a vegan burger, if you really want to kill these vegans off, just make their vegan meals and then just load the salt in there. And then we're gonna get them too. We're gonna get them all, and we're gonna reduce the population to 500 million people. Do I believe in past lives? I really do. Like, is this my first life? It can't be. Like, I don't know these things. I really wish I knew what happens after I die. And I would love to know for a fact that death is an illusion. And the moment, put it this way, the first memory that I have, I woke up, I logged on, and I was about 5 years old. And I was downstairs in the living room with my parents, and we're watching TV, and my dad is just shaking his foot. And I'm thinking, man, that really makes me nervous. That was the first memory I ever had. So check it out. What if I was an old man and I'm dying and I take my last breath and immediately I'm logged on into a different reality and I'm this entity now and I'm experiencing this. And it's almost like before that day, I didn't log on yet. But the moment I took my last breath, I entered into another body, and that's my first memory. So I didn't even experience death. The moment I took my breath, my last breath, I was already in a completely different body. I was a child again. I get to experience my childhood all over again and be happy. But I don't know these things. Like, is it possible for me to know it for certain? Because then that gets rid of all the fear. No fear of death. You know for sure that I had past lives. But yes, I believe that I had many past lives. And I believe that maybe I'm struggling with stuff right now because of karma. Because in my past life, I was, who knows? Maybe I wasn't cool or something, but hey, I'm always cool. I can't see me ever not being cool. So once salt loses its saltiness, wherewith shall it be salted? It's henceforth not good. Get it out of my vegan patties. You're trying to kill vegans because you load the salt in their foods. Human beings are not even supposed to eat meat. A meat eater's intestines are 3 times the length of their torso. A fruit eater's intestines are 9 times the length of their torso. And that's our intestines. It's 9 times the length of our torso. And every animal out in nature that eats fruit, that's the kind of intestines they have. So when we eat meat, it goes into our intestines. It takes a long time to process it. And then you end up getting parasites in your body. So that ends up killing you. You go to the public school and you see Harry Potter on the wall with a milk mustache. And they're serving you Bosco sticks and pizzas and chicken sandwich and just loading on the cheese. And you're told that milk is good for you and cheese is good. Even though milk has pus in it. There's like 50-something somatic cells. Research it. It's disgusting. It's pus that's in the milk. So the salt, loading down the salt in the food. Human beings, I have just discovered, because I saw the movie What the Health, and just the way our body is structured, we're not even supposed to eat meat. That's why everybody's getting sick and then getting put on medication because they're eating something that's foreign to our body. Eating cheese. The moment you put cheese in your body, your white blood cells have to attack it and kill all this disease that you just put in your body. Then we have genetically modified food. there's a company called Monsanto. They make Roundup weed killer. So these seeds, it only produces one crop. It's called a Roundup Ready seed. Roundup. Roundup? So the Roundup Ready seed, like for example, if you got corn, you plant a Roundup Ready seed, and then you could just spray Roundup weed killer on it its whole entire life. So this plant is drinking Roundup weed killer, and it's not dying. So what happens when you eat a plant that was drinking Roundup weed killer its whole life? Well, you just ingested Roundup. And then when you feed that to animals their whole life, you're tainting the meat, and then that poisons it. So then the meat has Roundup weed killer in it. People are drinking water that has chlorine, hydrofluoric acid, arsenic, tons of different types of chemicals in it. So if people are eating Roundup every day and then drinking chlorine, they'll be dead in no time. Plus, even if they want to become a vegan, we're going to put so much salt in their food that we're going to try to give these people heart attacks, because the whole goal is to reduce the population to 500 million people. That's what the New World Order wants to do. If you go to the Georgia Guidestones, 10 Commandments of the New World Order, the first one is to reduce the population to 500 million. So I'm saying, I'm just connecting the dots. How are you going to do this? It's going to be on a microscopic level. You can take genetically modified food, and you could go in there, being a scientist, and program it for a specific intent. Maybe shut down receptors in someone's mind to give them cloudy thoughts. You could program the food in order to get people sick, and you could program the genetically modified food. For example, I can put a program in there and modify it to make men impotent, so then they can't reproduce. That'll help the global population if men are unable to produce. And if they want help, they can go to their doctor and then get on some medication. So you got the genetically modified food. Is it possible to convert your organs from meat to fruit? That's what I'm trying to do right now. I don't want to keep eating things that are poisoning my body. And I've realized when I'm eating fruit, I feel good. My heart isn't beating, throbbing, bam, 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 bam. I'm hearing it in my heart's connected to my brain. My brain's throbbing, bam, bam, bam. Feel like I'm in a cave. All because I ate too much salt. So I'm going through a process of cutting out the meat, cutting out dairy, no cheese, no meat, and I want to come to a point where I eat raw food, because that's what my body's going to respond best to. Things that are actually give me nutrition. But you look at this place, the kind of food that they're feeding to these people. People are eating pork every day. They're eating processed meat. I went to Arby's with my dad, and then I ate a fish sandwich, and he's like, this fish sandwich, it's really healthy for you. It's really good. I say they really got a good sandwich. And it's like, no, it's not good for you. It's processed meat. It causes cancer. You want me to go on the World Wide Web, on the internet, and prove to you? I could pull up all the scientific studies that just show you that, hey, processed meat causes cancer. So you're eating processed meat. It's genetically modified, programmed with a specific intent to make you sick and impotent. Plus, there's tons of salt that's added in it that's going to mess up your heart, because that's what I'm experiencing even when I eat a vegan meal. And if you're eating genetically modified food, there's Roundup weed killer in it. Plus, if you're drinking tap water, see, all I'm drinking is Fiji water. I hope to God that Fiji water is not tainted and I could trust these people, but I really can't trust anybody. And then people are drinking chlorine every day. So what happens when you drink chlorine? You eat genetically modified food to change your genetics. You're eating Roundup weed killer. You're eating tons of salt. That's true. Any type of fast food isn't healthy in any way because they are processed and they cause a lot of stuff and mostly stubborn fat. And it just, the way our bodies look after you eat it, like my parents, like their bodies are disgusting looking. Oh, and you see people in the food stores and they're just waddling around like penguins. You're not going to, in 20 years, the New World Order will be established and only the enlightened individuals are going to make it. You're not going to be seeing people waddling around like penguins. You're not going to see any fast food restaurants. All these places are going to be out of business. These jobs are not going to be there anymore because people are going to be on a completely different level of consciousness and the world will be operating differently. You're not going to have unenlightened people that are hypocrites, that believe lies, that have no desire for truth. They're going to end up killing themselves. They're going to die because they're eating Roundup weed killer, drinking hydrofluoric acid, chlorine. Their genetics are being changed in order to specifically target them, change your genetics, and kill them. And then on top of that, even if you're a vegan and you don't want to cook your meal, they're going to put so much salt in there that it's going to hopefully cause you to die because we don't want any unenlightened vegans on the new earth. I wish we can go back as we were, only regular food like fresh fruits, fresh plants, but now there are these high processed proofs that are killing us slowly. I would love to go back and just be in an environment where I have access to clean food, fresh fruit and vegetables. Because when that's what is surrounding me, it's going to be easy to eat well. I'm not going to go out hunting an animal. I don't even believe in that. I know I'm not supposed to be consuming it. But if I'm living in Babylon, in Sodom, and then everyone's like, my mom tells me, you know what? You were a lot happier when you were eating chicken. The people you surround yourself with rub off on you. The environment rubs off on you. And it's a lot harder to eat correctly when this stuff is being pushed in your face. And I admit it, mind control works on me. I'm a human being also. But even with the knowledge, I know exactly what's going on. And every day I start picking up on even more things. Just the salt was a huge... It's like, hey, that's what's making a lot of people sick. I'm feeling it. I know by my own experiences. So I can't eat veggie burgers. I can't eat semsem falafel with the rice and the, all the Arab food because they're loading too much salt in that. So I need to just eat cantaloupes and watercress and bananas and oranges, even though I can't find a good orange with seeds in it anywhere. And navel oranges, they don't have seeds. It's unnatural. Navel oranges, I don't understand. Like California navel oranges, there's no seeds in them. How are you creating these plants? Oh, it's fine. It's organic. Yeah, Whole Foods was trying to sell me a watermelon with no seeds in it. But it's organic. Hey, it's not natural. Why is there no seeds in it? What have you done to it, lower self? So if salt has lost its saltiness, wherewith shall it be savored? It's henceforth good for nothing. I don't want to eat no veggie burger that's going to make my heart beat out of my chest. And Lot, when his wife was leaving Sodom, she looked behind and she was turned into a pillar of salt. It's not good. Bad. Bad. She shouldn't have turned around. She would have been cool. But then Lot, his wife went behind. He ended up having sex with his daughters in the cave. But that's a whole different story. All right. Thanks for tuning in, 444-85. Name of this message is Baphomet Bible 110. The Church of Jory Richard. If salt is lost, it's saltiness. Thank you for watching.